Welcome to Unit 1, Module 1, Global Responsibility of Environmental Concern. Learning Objectives. By the end of this module, you will be able to learn about the global concern for sustainability, understand the role of the 17 SDGs towards global sustainability. Environment is the foundation and support of human existence and survival. It is essential for sustainable development. Environmental protection has undoubtedly become the norm of any development strategy for all countries across the world. All countries need to respect the duties and obligations in environmental governance for harmonious coexistence in planet Earth. Today, the world is facing unprecedented environmental challenges such as climate change, shortage of clean water, degradation of the ocean health and destruction of biodiversity. Our goal should be to scale up the business houses towards achieving sustainable development goals. Now let us see each of the SDGs in detail. To recap what we have seen in the earlier module, there are 17 SDGs which were classified under society, economy and environment. SDG 1 is about no poverty. SDG 1 aims to eradicate every form of extreme poverty, including lack of food, clean drinking water and sanitation. The challenges and solution as given by UNEP for SDG 1 is given in the figure. The left hand side presents the challenges and the right hand side presents the solution for each of the challenges. SDG 1 focuses not only on people living in poverty but also on the services people rely on. This goal has 7 targets and 13 indicators to measure progress. There are 5 outcome targets and 2 means to achieve target, and these are given in the table. The figure shows that people living below $1 has a declining trend and it is expected to reach 6% by 2030. The global poverty rate is projected to be 7% in 2030. Organizations dedicated to eradicating poverty and SDG 1 include Oxfam International, Organization for Poverty Alleviation and Development, the Humanitarian Organization for Poverty Eradication, Concern Worldwide, World Relief, One Campaign and Institute for Research on Poverty. Now let us see SDG 2. This aims to end all forms of malnutrition and hunger by 2030. Chronic malnutrition is estimated to affect around 155 million children worldwide. Malnutrition stunts children's brain and physical development. It puts them at further risk of early death. SDG 2 has 8 targets and 14 indicators. 5 are outcome targets and 3 are means to achieve targets as shown in the table. The pandemic will worsen child malnutrition. It is expected, as shown in the figure, 22% of children under 5 are stunted. 6.7% of children under 5 suffer from wasting and 5.7% of children under 5 are overweight. The challenges and solution as proposed by UNEP for SDG 2 is given in the figure, and the challenges are on the left hand side and the solution for each of these challenges are given on the right hand side. Hungry people are less productive and easily prone to diseases. They are not able to contribute towards sustainable development. This calls for sustainable agriculture system using modern technologies. Also, at the delivery side, adopting a fair distribution system like in Tamil Nadu, we have the TUCS is required. There are 3 pathways to achieve this, which was identified to be agriculture led, social protection and nutrition intervention led, a combination of both of these. Organizations that are involved to help SDG 2 achieve their objectives are Food and Agricultural Organization, World Food Programme, International Fund for Agricultural Development, the World Bank, Environmental Program UNEP. SDG 3 focuses on various aspects of healthy life and healthy lifestyle. SDG 3 has 13 targets and 28 indicators to measure progress toward targets. There are 9 outcome targets and 4 means to achieve targets as shown in the table. SDG 3 aims to provide same healthcare services to everyone. The UNDP reports that every 2 seconds someone aged 30 to 70 years die because of non-communicable diseases such as cardiovascular disease, chronic respiratory disease, diabetes, cancer. It proposes to prevent the premature death of children. The challenges and solution as given by UNEP for SDG 3 is given in the figure. Organizations dedicated to SDG 3 include the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS, World Health Organization WHO, UNICEF, Department of Economic and Social Affairs, United Nations Office for Drugs and Crime, Organizations for Economic Cooperation and Development OECD, UN Women, Gavi, the Alliance. SDG 4 is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. SDG 4 has 10 targets which are measured using 11 indicators. There are 7 outcome targets and 3 means to achieve targets as shown in the table. This goal aims to provide children and young people with quality and easy access to education along with learning opportunities. A major component of this goal is in acquiring knowledge and valuable skills in the learning environment. This calls for providing good educational facilities with safe, inclusive and effective learning environment. The challenges and solutions as given by UNEP for SDG 4 is given in the figure. Organizations that are involved in ensuring quality education include UNESCO, UNICEF, Global Education Monitoring Report, Global Partnership for Education, United Nations Girl Education Initiative, Childhood Education International, UN Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization Institute for Statistics, United Nations Institute for Training and Research, International Telecommunication Union. SDG 5 concerns gender equality. It has 9 targets and 14 indicators. The 6 outcome targets are present along with 3 means to achieve targets which are given in the table. SDG 5 aims to grant women equal right and opportunities to live free without discrimination or any violence. This is to achieve greater gender equality and to empower women and girls. Indicators present the metrics by which the targets are achieved. The challenges and solution given by UNEP for SDG 5 is given in the figure. Organizations that help towards achieving SDG 5 include UN Women, Equality Now, Vital Voices, UNDP, UNICEF, WHO. SDG 6 is clean water and sanitation for all. The goal has 8 targets to be achieved by 2030. There are 6 outcome targets and 2 means to achieve targets as shown in the table. The challenges and solution as given by UNEP for SDG 6 is given in the figure. SDG 7 aims to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. Access to energy is very important for sustenance. It is required for economic development and poverty elevation. The goal has 5 targets, 3 outcome targets and 2 means to achieve target as shown in the table. The challenges and solution as proposed by UNEP is given in the figure. The agencies considered custodian for SDG 7 include International Energy Agency IEA, Department of Economic and Social Affairs Statistics Division, International Renewable Energy Agency, United Nations Statistics Division, WHO, and Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development OECD. SDG 8 is to create decent work and economic growth. This calls for sustained and inclusive economic growth, providing full and productive employment as well as decent work for all. SDG 8 has 12 targets, some for 2030 and some for 2020. There are 10 outcome targets and 2 means to achieve targets as shown in the table. The challenges and solution as given by UNEP for SDG 8 is given in the figure. Organizations involved in achieving SDG 8 are World Bank Group, United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, International Labour Organization, UN Women, United Nations World Tourism Organization, NGOs. SDG 9 aims to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable industrialization and foster innovation. It has 8 targets and progress to measure the 12 indicators. There are 5 outcome targets and 3 means to achieve targets as shown in the table. The challenges and solution as given by UNEP for SDG 9 is given in the figure. Organizations involved in achieving SDG 9 are United Nations Industrial Development Organization UNIDO, World Bank, International Civil Aviation Organization, International Transport Forum Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, International Energy Agency IEA, UNESCO Institute for Statistics and OECD. SDG 10 is about reduced inequality. The goal has 10 targets to be achieved by 2030. There are 7 outcome targets and 3 means to achieve target as shown in the table. The challenges and solution given by UNEP for SDG 10 is given in the figure. Inequality exists in various forms such as economics, sex, disability, race, social inequality and different forms of discrimination. Measuring inequality in its individual forms is a crucial component in order to reduce inequality within and among countries. The Gini coefficient is the most frequently used measurement for socio-economic inequality as it can significantly show the income and wealth distribution within and among countries. Organizations that work towards SDG 10 include IMF, OECD, United Nations, World Economic Forum. SDG 11 is Sustainable Cities and Communities. It has 10 targets and 11 indicators. There are 7 outcome targets and 3 means to achieve target as shown in the table. The challenges and solution proposed by UNEP for SDG 11 is given in the figure. SDG 11 addresses slums, human settlement management and planning, climate change mitigation and adaptation, and urban economics. Organizations involved in achieving this include Inter-American Development Bank, UN Industrial Development Organization, UN Economic Commission for Africa, United Nations International Strategy for Disaster Reduction and United Nations Human Settlements Program. SDG 12 is on sustainable consumption and production patterns. It has 11 targets. There are 8 outcome targets and 3 means to achieve targets as shown in the table. SDG 12 is meant to ensure good use of resources, improving energy efficiency, sustainable infrastructure and providing access to basic services. The challenges and solution proposed by UNEP for SDG 12 is given in the figure. Organizations involved in achieving this SDG 12 are United Nations Environment Programme, that is UNEP, Department for Economic and Social Affairs Statistics Division, Food and Agriculture Organization, United Nations World Tourism Organization, UNESCO Institute for Statistics, UNESCO Education Sector, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, United Nations Statistics Division, and United Nations University. SDG 13 is to take urgent action to combat climate change. It has 5 targets to be achieved by 2030. There are 3 output targets and 2 means to achieve target as shown in the table. SDG 13 and SDG 7 on clean energy are very closely related and they are complementary in nature. The challenges and solution proposed by UNEP for SDG 13 is given in the figure. Organizations that aid in achieving SDG 13 are United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, World Meteorological Organization, United Nations Environment Programme. SDG 14 is to conserve and use the oceans, seas and marine resources sustainably. It has 10 targets to be achieved by 2030. There are 7 outcome targets and 3 means to achieve targets which is shown in the table. The challenges and solution as proposed by UNEP for SDG 14 is given in the figure. In US, there are over 500 tax exempt organizations that is working for UN SDG 14. Rockefeller Foundation, Ford Foundation, Hewlett Foundation, Giving Tech Labs, etc. created a free online interactive tool called The Ocean and Marine Life in US, which enables user to see the value of SDG 14 along with the indicators nationally and by state. The data is updated every 15 days. SDG 15 is to protect, restore and promote life on land. It aims to ensure sustainability of the terrestrial ecosystem by sustainably managing forests, reversing land degradation and halting the biodiversity loss. There are 12 targets. 9 are outcome targets and 3 are means to achieve target as shown in the table. The challenges and solution proposed by UNEP for SDG 15 is given in the figure. In US, over 8,000 tax exempt organizations are working on issues related to SDG 15. Rockefeller Foundation, Ford Foundation, Hewlett Foundation, Giving Tech Labs and few others have created a free online interactive tool on land and nature conservation, in which users can see the indicators nationally and state-wise. The data is updated every 15 days. SDG 16 is to promote peaceful and inclusive societies, providing access to justice for all and building effective, accountable and inclusive institutions. There are 12 targets, 10 are outcome targets and 2 are means to achieve targets as shown in the table. The challenges and solutions as given by UNEP for SDG 16 is given in the figure. Organizations involved in achieving SDG 16 are United Nations Development Programme UNDP, UNESCO. SDG 17 is to build global partnership for sustainable development. The SDG 17 has 19 targets to be achieved by 2030. It is broken down into 5 categories: finance, technology, capacity building, trade and systemic support. It has 19 outcome targets. SDG 17 calls for cross-sector and cross-country collaboration. It is a call for countries to align their policies. SDG 17 is a vision for improved and more equitable trade as well as coordinated investment initiatives to promote sustainable development across borders. It is about strengthening and streamlining cooperation between both developed and developing nation states. It seeks to promote international trade and help developing countries for an equitable trading system that is fair, open and beneficial to all. The challenges and solution as given by UNEP for SDG 17 is given in the figure. The following United Nations organizations are involved in SDG 17, being custodians of one or several indicators: IMF, OECD, United UN Conference on Trade and Development, UNESCO Institute for Statistics, International Telecommunication Union, United Nations Environmental Programme, Climate Technology Center and Network, and WTO. United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, United Nations Environment Programme, Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Statistics Division. Now let us see a few questions and answers. Question 1. How can SDG help in achieving environmental sustainability? One of the pillars of sustainability is environmental sustainability. SDG 13, SDG 14 and SDG 15 are directly linked to global environmental sustainability. Further, SDG 7 is linked to SDG 13. Focusing on these goals and targets will ensure preserving the environment. Now let us see question 2. How can business houses be responsible for global sustainability? SDG 17 is to build global partnership for sustainable development. Business houses can build partnerships by aligning their policies for improved and more equitable trade across countries and nations. It will strengthen and streamline cooperation between developed and developing countries, thus bringing in global responsibility towards the environment. Now let us see question 3. Which of the following is not a part of SDG? Gender equality, zero hunger, good health and well-being, and space research. Of course, the answer is space research. To summarize, in this module, so with this we wind up this module. So thank you for listening.